Well, good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? First time back in a long, long time. Rowdy, Stacy's mom, how's it going? How's everybody's Saturday night going? Looks like I still got some of my moderators still set. So, how's everybody been? It's been a long, long time. I think it's been about a year now. Now, this won't be a super long live tonight. I'll be starting to get back into the swing of things, so we'll do a short one tonight. Hey, what's up, Earth? Where have I been? I've been all over. Had to take a break from this nightmare. How you guys been? Hey, Wilma, how are you, hon? Surprised to see anybody in here tonight. I thought for sure there would only be a couple. And I've been around. I just been not going live. What's everybody been up to? How's everybody living in this crazy ass time? We'll talk soon. What the hell? How's everybody been surviving in this world lately? I know it's a wild, wild time and a wild place to be. Let's turn on some background music because I don't like the silence. There's got to be some kind of turn it down a little bit. See what we want to listen to. No, we don't want to hear that. Nope. What are these things on here? No, we're not listening to that. That's kind of creepy. Surviving is a good description. It's about it. Anything any of us can do these days. Trying to find something to play in the background so that it's not dead silence. No. I'm going to have to upgrade this thing so that I get a little more options. We'll just put that quiet in the background. Hey, look at it. I got some of my mods here tonight. You guys are going to be super busy with 5 people in the chat. Yeah, there's really not any options on this thing. Huh. What's going on, PJ? How's your stream going tonight? You multitasking? Oh man. As always. It's crazy to see some of you guys still in here. I'm pretty sure it's been a year or dang close since my last live stream. Yeah, I have forgot how to YouTube. I forgot how to live stream. That's why this one will be a shorter one tonight. It won't be super long, just to get the ball rolling. I've been wanting to go live for a while now. I just haven't really had the motivation to do so. YouTube and like any kind of media platforms are just toxic as hell. They're just awful. And the algorithms are disgusting. I can't stand them. I don't know if you guys have this problem, but every time I click on just like one thing, even if it's accidental, next thing I know, my whole entire feed is full of that shit. Even when it's not anything that I want to watch or anything that I care about. Like if I'm just like scrolling through my screen and I accidentally hold my finger on one of the videos for too long as I'm scrolling and it just accidentally starts playing, even if it's only for a couple of seconds, next thing I know, my entire feed is full of that trash. And I'll tell you what, you guys, like, I don't know about any of you, but I am so sick of politics. Like, it's ruining everything. And so is media. It's what's causing all of this chaos. And don't even ask me what side I'm on because I'm on none of these people's sides. Like, fuck all this. Yeah, people in the bushes. Well, I don't necessarily know anymore if it's people in the bushes or if it's just bot accounts. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but so many platforms are full of bot accounts now. Like the way AI is getting it, it's awful. Media is making everything worse. I mean, you can't even watch news stations anymore or go to a news channel and watch anything because it's all the same rhetoric all over the place. And it don't seem like anyone is in the middle at all or trying to be like understanding of anything or trying to like listen to each other's sides or anything. It just seems like everybody is out for blood. I have all my personal opinions and whatnot, but like none of my opinions and none of my beliefs or any of that make me fall into any of the categories. Like I've sat back and thought about it and like I can't even I mean the best you can say is I'm independent because I don't get along with anybody really. I don't have all the same opinions of anyone. Like yeah, politics is just it's ruining everything. And too many people are getting involved with it. Like I don't understand on how I don't understand in like the last 10 years on how politics has completely engulfed the world. Like, I mean, the entire world. It's not just the United States. You look everywhere. You can look at, and like I was just watching riots in freaking Mexico. Like massive riots are starting to break out in Mexico. There's massive riots breaking out over in Europe. Like it's just everywhere. I mean, literally anywhere you can think of, the world is just burning down. And it's like, why? Because of these politicians, because of their rhetoric, and like people are they're putting these politicians on pedestals. It don't matter. I don't give a damn if you're left, right, center, up, down, diagonal. Like I don't give a damn who you are. Like these the politicians, they're just individuals with their own agendas. Like really. And to really believe we have any control over any of it. I mean, look at what's going on around here. All these protests, shutting down the governments, bombing, here, bombing there, fucking like there's just the extremes of everything going on. Yeah, Wilma. And like I think it should be a private thing. And I think it should be like voting should be something extremely simple. Like we shouldn't have to worry about any of this malarkey that has to deal with voting fraud or making up ballots or any of that. Like none of this stuff should even be a thing. Like I think paper ballots should be a thing. I think you should go to a freaking voting booth, fill out of that ballot, sign your name, and then it's one and done. Like, I don't think there should be all this mail-in ballots, electronic voting, any of this other nonsense. Like, we shouldn't have to deal with this kind of stuff. Now, because you make one simple comment like that, now all of a sudden, oh, you're a white right-wing MAGA guy. No, I fucking can't stand Trump. Trump is annoying as shit. Like, he's almost just as bad as listening to Biden talk. It's awful. And like some of the things that people don't sit back and think about because they get caught up in all this nonsense. Look at who our options for presidents are. Like, where have we gone wrong when our options for presidents are Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump? Like, what in the world? These people are not accurate representations of the United States. Like, they're not. I mean, for crying out loud, we're starting to figure out that like even Obama was not an accurate representation of the United States. Be completely honest with you, you got to go back quite a few presidents to get an accurate representation of the United States. Like if you think your congressman or congresswoman is there supporting you and looking out for your best interest, you're crazy. You're crazy. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anybody. They care about their bottom dollar. I mean, for crying out loud, we sit here and they put in bills through Congress to try, or either Congress or the Senate, or the House or the Senate. I don't remember which one exactly, but they tried to make it to where they didn't get paid, saying, "Okay, you guys aren't paying all these people, then we shouldn't get paid either." And 90% of them shut that down. They were like, "Nope, we want to get paid." So everybody else in the government wasn't getting paid. They weren't working, and they still wanted to get paid. That's their representation. That's your representation. Well, mine as well. But, and then everybody sits there and like wants to make a big deal about Donald Trump. Do you guys not realize that the House and Senate, like, they're the ones that control everything? Donald Trump can't do anything. He can say, "Hey guys, I want this done." And if it doesn't pass in the House and Senate, it doesn't get done. Look at his first term. But we're making such a big deal about Donald Trump. Like, that dude, he's a glorified troll is all that he is. And what I mean by troll, I mean by like he is trolling the American people and the media and quite honestly the entire world. I'm talking about like being an internet troll, not being like a actual troll. But he's trolling everybody. This dude is like he is the ultimate troll. He says things and does things just for the attention. And then what other option did we have? And then these media, like you go to, I don't care which media you look at, whether it's ABC, NBC, media outlets I'm talking about, CNBC, MSNBC, Fox, whatever, they are all geared towards their political party. Like that's it. You don't get news from the news stations anymore. One of the biggest things that I've talked about that is one of the biggest problems is back in the day, the news is what happened in your immediate surroundings, in your immediate area. You might hear about what happened in a couple of, cities away from you or on the other side of the state or something like that. You might hear stories about that, but most of the time it was around your immediate area. Now all of a sudden we know what's going on in real time all over the world. So we might be sitting here in the United States worrying about what's going on over in you take any country, I don't really care right now because any one of them are having problems. Instead of worrying about what's right here in our hometown. We'd rather destroy our hometowns and destroy our local businesses and destroy our communities for something that's going on in a completely different country that we have absolutely no control over as United States citizens. We don't. We can yell and scream and burn the whole entire country down. They're still going to do what they want to do over there. But yeah, let's destroy where we're at. And I'm talking about on both sides because I don't care if you're, like I said, if you're left or right or up or down. Like nobody's right. Nobody is making the correct choices right now. Nobody. Like it's bad when you have a country of 300 million people and maybe more. I don't know the exact number, but you have that many people that live off of 5-minute clips or 15-second clips. Like the average attention span right now for children is 47 seconds. 47 seconds is their attention span. Do you guys understand what that's going to do to our children in the futures? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 600 Chinese students coming over. Like, I don't understand any of this because, like, I'm not one of these "Make America Great Again" like believers or whatnot. Because, in my opinion, America hasn't been great in a very long time, and I'm talking like the majority of my lifetime. But you want to bring in 600,000 Chinese students when it's already been proven, like time and time and time and time again, that these people come into our country and they steal our ideas. They take them over to China and they produce them in massive amounts for way cheaper because they basically have slave labor over there. They have children labor over there. Like, and that's not me taking one side or the other. That's literally proven out there, and you can go look it up yourself. Oh, let me take this banner off the bottom. What the heck? I didn't even know that banner was on. Guess I wasn't paying that close of attention. Yeah, and a lot of them, and think about it. like everybody wants to talk about how half of the country voted for this person and half of the country voted for this person. Like, don't quote me on numbers here, but I do believe there's 300 million people in the United States. Now, I'm not talking, that's obviously not, let me look my stuff up here. That's obviously not everybody that's able to vote, but still, um, you know what? Let me do this a little quicker. You're still not, that's not the amount of people that are able to vote, but you have 300 million people in the United States, and there was like 77,000 that voted for one, and like 76,000 or 76 million and 75 or 77 million that voted. So that's like what, like 100 and say 170,000 million people. But there's 300 million here. You can't tell me there's 150 million children in the country. So there's a lot of people that just don't vote because they don't give a shit. So you can't sit here and say half the country voted for this and half the country voted for that. You're representing only a quarter of the country. But let me double check my numbers here. Let's see. So there's 245 million people who are eligible to vote in the United States, and that's citizens that are aged 18 or older. 245 million. Let's see how many voted in 2024. Approximately 155 million out of the 245 million. So you're roughly 100 million people there that didn't vote. Like, honestly, that's 100 million people that didn't vote. It's not like that's a small number. It's not like that it's like 500,000 or like 2 million. Like that is a lot of people who did not vote for either candidates. So you can't sit here and say that you're representing either way half the United States when that isn't even a factor. And then when the person gets into the Congress or into the House, the presidency, I'm sorry, then they have to fight. Now, what if the House is all a Democrat controlled House, and what if the Senate's a Democrat controlled House, and you got a Republican in this presidency? Nothing's going to get done. Absolutely nothing. So half the United States voted for, or that part of the United States voted for, a Republican to go in there, but he ain't going to be able to get anything done because of the House and the House and Senate. They're not going to vote to approve any of his bills. Yeah, Earth, I don't got an email anymore, hun. I'm sorry. When I cleared the channel, I cleared all that stuff. But anyways, back to it. The media takes every little thing that happens and they flip it on its head and want to act like it's a huge deal. And like it doesn't even matter. You got all these people, and then you have instances of shit that's happening, like the Charlie Kirk incident. Like you have, I think there's another Republican that had got attacked with a bat here recently. Another one got, like, I think there was some Democrat that had their houses that had caught on fire. Like a couple other Democrats in Minnesota that got shot and were murdered. And it's like, what are we doing, people? Like, what kind of, we're supposed to be the greatest nation in the entire world, and this is the shit we're doing to our politicians. Like, what are we? We a third world country? Like, that's seriously what we're falling into. And then, don't get me wrong, like, I believe in protesting. I believe in being able to speak your piece. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe you being able to say whatever the hell you want to say. Um, and I also believe that whatever you say has consequences, whether it's legal consequences, whether it's street consequences, whatever you have to say has consequences. And people these days think that, oh yeah, freedom of speech means you just can say whatever you want to say without consequences. Like, if you're out on the street and you run into people and you run your mouth as much as you do, you might get hit square in the fucking face. That's a consequence for you running your mouth. If you're out there and you're doing things that are obviously illegal, it don't matter how small they are, it's still illegal. I mean, how many people went to jail for a quarter bag of marijuana? Like, breaking the law is breaking the law, and protesting is protesting. Having violent riots is not protesting. And thinking logically, we've had millions of people that have protested all over the United States, and peacefully. We've had large, what do you call them? They're protests, but they're marches that have gone off without a hitch, no problems, anything like that. Now, we do have our skirmishes in some of the bad cities that, obviously are fighting back big time. But look at any march and any protest and any of that. Can you name me one time in American history that shit has worked? Like, I would understand if that was an effective tactic, but realistically, to those of us that are out there that are just watching all of this and seeing everything that's going on, you look like a bunch of grown ass adults that are just angry that you're not getting what you want. And you're yelling and screaming about it. Now, again, don't get me wrong, you're allowed to. That's your right. But when you think about it logically, what are you doing? What are you changing? What are you fixing? Because to me, I haven't seen anything change. I haven't seen anything get fixed. Anything that you guys are fighting for. Literally nothing. Like, honestly, tell me one thing you guys have accomplished doing all that. Hey, what's up, Carrie? How you doing? And again, more power to you. Go out and do your thing. It's America. It's freedom. There are consequences to your actions. Sorry. They dance and do weird exercises. That's just in Portland. Like, I seen the other day, which I fully agree with one exception, but I seen a whole group of people that were just sitting down in a circle and refused to move. Like, okay, why don't you guys do that kind of stuff instead of sitting here kicking down and destroying the cities and doing all this other nonsense that hasn't ever accomplished anything. I'm doing good, Terry, or Carrie. Sorry, it's kind of late for me. I'm used to being in bed around this time. Surprised that I've seen so many people in here tonight. I for sure didn't think that there was going to be so many. Hey, Kursuma, how are you? It's been a long time. Getting my feet wet into stuff again. It's been a while. It's been a while. Definitely not going to head down the same path that I was on. These media streets have gotten way too toxic for me. Way too toxic. But how you guys been surviving in this wild neighborhoods? Hope everything's going well for all you guys, especially with the holidays coming up. Yeah, yeah, extremely toxic. You get to a point where being on all this social media, whether you're on it and creating content or if you're watching it, it uh it gets to a point where it's just like you've had enough. You know, I've taken the last year off, and like for me, it's been a godsend. Oh, nice! You guys have been doing live streams. Awesome. You got 4 months off of YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I truly say that you need to unplug from all the platforms. Get away from all of them. I don't know how many people use X or any of this other stuff, but I mean, if it doesn't matter if you look at Twitch, if you look at YouTube, if you look at um, X, or I don't know if I said that already, or the True Social, or Kick, or Rumble. You go to any one of these, and it's all just the same shit over and over and over and over again, just from millions of different people. Oh no, hope everything's going well with your recovery. Yeah, PJ, you're addicted. You love this shit. You thrive in chaos. Nah, I'm just kidding. It does. I mean, the chaos does suck you in. Don't get me wrong. Like um, I have to actively disengage myself at times, because it's not just politics and stuff. Like even when you go and you watch some of your channels that have nothing to do with politics, next thing you know, they're fighting other channels, and even I'm talking about channels that have um millions of subscribers. Even like everybody's starting to turn the same way. And like I was saying a little while back before I got on another tangent, you know, like it's not healthy for anyone, for anybody, to know what's going on all over the world. Like it's really not healthy. Like now everybody says knowledge is key, but the problem is that most I, I'm trying not to offend anybody, but most human beings, they live off of watching clips. Like if you take a clip of anyone at any point in time, you can make anybody look like trash. And if you end up taking that clip and you go in and finding the source of where it came from, and you watch the entire thing, and you get your own perspective of what happened, and maybe there's something else that you have to go watch, and you just do your due diligence and you do your own research, you'll find out that that little 15-second clip really actually meant nothing. All they did was just found something that somebody said at some point in time and want to blast it like they're the devil. And that goes for everything. I mean, most of us here that are in here right now came from the true crime community. And that's exactly what happened. And I don't even know anymore because I don't watch any of them. But I can almost guarantee if I went to any of these channels, then you probably see all the same stuff. That was there before, and that's all they do is people watch each other and it's like, oh gotcha, and it's full of nothing but a bunch of gotcha moments. Like you can't say anything or have any kind of opinion because somebody's going to try snagging it and running with it in a complete opposite direction. And now it's gotten bad enough that, not just YouTubers or influencers in general, but everybody, literally everyone, if you have an opinion on everything, like you really run the risk of dying. Like that might sound ridiculous, but look what's going on around us. Like you can't be um, overreaching or exaggerating on any of this when like seriously look around us. I like there's some streamers that talk about religious stuff, and next thing you know, their houses are getting firebombed, their churches are getting burnt down, they're getting shot. There's all of this nonsense that's going on over people's opinions. Like I still remember the phrase. I don't know if everybody does, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. You know, so it's like nobody. Since when does people's opinions fucking matter? Like, God, we're in a culture in a society where like people. It sounds cold as hell to say, but like we're in a society where everybody feels like they matter, and in the grand scheme of things, like we as an individual matter, but our opinions are just our personal opinions from our life. Like I was saying earlier, there's 300 and some million Americans that all have their own opinion. It's like, how the fuck can you think yours is better than anybody else's? My biggest takeaway of all of it, though, is that, like we were just saying a few minutes ago, is you have to unplug yourself from a lot of this. You have to get away from a lot of it. The technology in general, like even if you get off of YouTube, you know, and I know everybody here has experienced it. Like you can be having a conversation with somebody, and next thing you know, when you're scrolling through Facebook or YouTube or whatever, next thing you know, like that stuff's popping up on your phone. Why? Because they listen. Like if you hover over an ad or something for like point 0.3 of a millisecond, the technology in the phones remember that and will start feeding you some of that stuff. That's point 0.3 of a second. Like, do you understand on how long it takes you to scroll through stuff? So if you sit there and stare at one thing for too long, then next thing you know, your feed's going to be full of that. All your ads are going to be full of that. All because of technology. Yes, SG, and how are you? I haven't seen you in a while either. But see, that's the thing, even with respect someone. Everybody thinks that respect has to be given right away. Like respect isn't earned anymore. Yeah, well, those days are definitely gone. Like you have families, you have you have marriages and shit that are splitting now because of political opinions. Like I don't know how much of this everybody has to see that this is all designed to rip us all apart from each other and essentially destroy each other. Now, I'm not talking about, like apocalypse style now type shit, but you guys got to understand that, like, if this leads to some sort of a quote unquote civil war scenario, like, it's not going to be the North versus the South. It's going to be you versus your neighbor. And you know what type of world that's going to be? It's going to be you versus the person across the street from you. It could be you versus the person that you go to church with, or the person that you went to high school with. It's not going to be you versus somebody that's thousands of miles away from you. And like nobody wants to take a step back at any point in time and just like understand it. Everybody, and this is speaking from experience. All of us that are in here have been in true crime, and we all know the scenarios that all of that toxicity sucks you into. It sucks you right in. And it's a motherfucker to get out of. You have to go through some hell once you get deep in enough to get out of it. And to stay in this type of shit and to be any kind of creator in any way, shape, or form, you have to know all the risk and responsibilities that come along with it. It's not just you going on the internet anymore and creating content. Like every single word you have to say, every single action you have to do is going to be criticized, scrutinized from all angles. And then people are going to potentially threaten your life, threaten your kids' life, threaten your family's life, have you swatted, have like all this stuff done to you. For what? Like, is getting on YouTube and making any kind of content worth it? Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. And nowadays, the doxing, the lawsuits, the hatred, and all that stuff, that's just that that's just par for the course. Where 2 years ago, when we first started all that nonsense, or 3 years ago, however long it's been now, like those were taboo, you know. But now, literally, like let's talk about deportation stuff for a minute. There's ICE individuals that are getting their names and everything plastered all over the internet, and people picketing outside their houses and all this other stuff. Like, do I agree or disagree? It doesn't really, like, I have no real opinion on any of it. But like, we're as YouTubers, simple people that like me, 9 people in chat getting doxxed, like that ain't no thing when all of these people that are way higher up are getting doxxed and nothing's getting done about it. They say they're doing stuff, but let's be real. And if you're above 30 and you don't understand that all politicians lie, that's all that they do, lie. They lie for their own benefit. It doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, what they're doing. They all are all lying for their own benefits. Then you need to wake the fuck up. But guys, this was just the first stream back. It was good to get back into the swing of things. I'm probably gonna log off here. Got a few things to do, and today was opening the gun season in Michigan for hunting. So tomorrow, it's a bright and early day. I'm gonna try going and shooting a deer. But thank you guys for joining me tonight for the little bit of a 45-minute rant and rave and quick catch up. You guys will start seeing more live streams from me, so be on the lookout. Have your notifications on so that you guys know when I'm going live, which is surprising to see this many people in here with as long as it's been. I thought for sure I was only going to have a couple of you in here. But it was nice to see a few of you guys. Nice to see some old faces and some old names. But thank you guys, and we'll see you guys here soon. You guys have a good night. Stay safe out there, and just try to unplug from some of this stuff for a while and see what it does for you. Have a good weekend, guys.